Hello. Today is Tuesday, March 10th, 2026, and today is episode 4 of the Building Hour. Today is a great day. I hope you've been having a great day, but today has been a great day for me for three reasons. First off, it was just beautiful outside. Sunshine. I don't usually love sunshine, but the sunshine was beautiful today. 70 degrees or something like 21 degrees Celsius for you normal folk. 70 for us Americans. So yeah, it was just fantastic weather, really nice. Had the windows open for the first time. I love a good day like that. Um, Second reason that it's fantastic, I had tacos. Tacos are really good. And the third reason is fantastic. Well, today we are doing a topic, drag and all things the naval update. And last Tuesday we did a topic, which was triangles and squares. So I have now proclaimed that it is Topic Tuesday. And every Tuesday, henceforth, will be a Topic Tuesday. And so those are the three reasons why today is a great day. And we're just going to get right into the main part of the show. No jibber jabbering at the start of this one. Jibber jabber. Who uses that word? I don't usually use that word. Streaming's weird. Okay, so the main topic for today I want to go over is I kind of want to take a look at. First, I want to look at the engines because engines in the naval update. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about how the placement of engines affects your boat handling. I did do a video on it, and so if you've seen the video, this will be somewhat similar, but I'm going to cover a bunch of different things today about the naval update. And so yeah, just getting right into it. I will open paint up in a minute, but so when you place engines, oh, I forgot, I'm not on my build server, so I have different keybinds. Okay, so these are the small engines. I don't know how familiar everyone is with the naval update, especially if some people are from consoles, so I'm going to kind of go in depth, but you can actually place the engine in any orientation, and that doesn't affect how the boat will drive. Because to drive, you need a steering wheel. So if I put an engine sideways like this, and put my steering wheel down, even though this is facing sideways, let me get some low grade. If I get some low grade in here, I go in the direction of the steering wheel. You'll see me listing off to the right. I'll explain that in a moment, but then if I come here, oh, I can't deploy and edit. This is the one annoying thing about the naval update on my server that I'm hosting. I just locally host a server on my computer because there's no good build server where you can mess around. At least in my opinion, I haven't found a build server that I like and is consistent with the boats. So we were just traveling forward and backward. If I just pick up this steering wheel, watch this. This is what I find crazy. We now go that direction. We now go in the direction of the steering wheel. We're listing to the side because we only have one engine. If I balance this, if I put another engine somewhere around here, I don't even have to face it correctly. As long as I balance the center of it, I'll finish building, pop some low grade in there. We're now just traveling this way. And I think that's so cool. And the boat does some really weird turning stuff when you have the engines like this. But something I was messing around with that I think is really funny to watch. Man, I have to get all the way back. Yeah, so the engines, I'll kind of explain or go over what's happening here. I'm kind of rambling a little bit. If we hop into paint, let me hop on over to here. Okay. So we have our boat, right? I'm going to just draw us a nice little boat. Get us a nice little triangle on the front, because that everyone knows that makes your boat faster. And so if you have an engine, let's say your engine is right here. I'm actually going to draw a nice little rectangle. Let's say you have an engine. All right, so let's say you just turn this engine on. Your steering wheel is right here facing this direction. And so if you just turn this engine on, this engine will start moving you in that forward direction, the same direction as your steering wheel. If we think of this boat as a single rigid body with a center of mass right here, let's see, right there, then if we look at it like this, then this engine will apply a torque to the boat. It's kind of like when you're pushing on a door to open it. It's hinging around its fixed point, or in this case, its center of mass. So it's hinging open, and we're applying a torque like this. And so that's why you always see people add these engines in pairs if they're not directly on the center axis of the boat. And so they add another one here. This one also has the same push forwards, or velocity forwards. And then the torque from this one cancels out with the other one, and we just go straight forwards. And what I didn't realize when I first recorded the V2 guide is that you can actually put the engine sideways like this, and it doesn't matter at all. They drive the exact same, which I think is cool. But then the really funny thing you can do, and I've seen some people use this to try and make a boat that's really good at fighting in the sea. So like if you have a cannon and shooting off the boat, if you put your engines in the back, and we draw those same, this is our center of mass. Well, now, if the engines acted normal, so Russ does a weird, like the devs did a weird thing to make the engines make sense intuitively when you're driving, but when we're diagramming it looks weird. Normally, if you wanted to turn left, what would happen is you would expect that the engine would push to the left. But if we did that, we would actually get a torque going to the right, because it would push the back half of this boat out and swing us around. And so what it does instead is if you want to go to the left, the engines push to the right. And so you get a torque going to the left, but it makes it so that this side of your ship is now leading the turn. It's just like you're drifting a car. And so if we go back to the game, let me make a fresh boat to show this. Where's my boat? Okay, I'm just going to make a nice little boat. Let's get it extra long because it shows this off a bit stronger. And I'm going to load this thing up in the back, just so that we can see. And then I'll put that right there. Okay, so what's really cool is you can actually see there's an animation that'll show up on this left side of the boat. As we turn hard to the left, you'll see that there's this spray on the left side. And we're just straight up drifting around this corner. And if I straighten out, you'll see that the spray goes back to the front of the ship. And then as I turn again, we are just drifting around this corner. And so this is really cool, and I think that you could make a boat where you set the cannon facing sideways, and then you just circle another player's boat. And this allows you to have easier cannon shots than if you were just turning really aggressively. It lets you, at least I think, I don't actually know for certain, but I think it would be easier to shoot a cannon off of this than it would be a ship that was turning normally. But the downside of a ship like this is I find it really hard to navigate, because I would expect to have just made it around the right side of that pillar. You almost have to like turn the opposite direction as you would expect you would need to. And so that's the first cool thing about the Naval update. The other cool thing I wanted to talk about today about the Naval update is drag. And so how does the drag work in the Naval update? Well, so the way that I did a lot of testing on this is I created a shape, right? And so we have, you know, whatever. And then I look for a constant mass. So the way it works is there's, if you look up in the top right, I wish, how do I, up here, you'll see the power and then the power to mass ratio. That's what determines how fast your ship can potentially go. But then depending on the shape of your ship, sometimes you will go slower. And so from my testing, this footprint right here, just one square wide, doesn't seem to cause any sort of drag effects. I think that's still the case, but as far as I know, that is how it still works. And so you can add this triangle to the front, but it's not actually necessary as far as I can tell right now. And a way we can test this, just to confirm it, is I like to crank the mass up to 1,000. Or around 1,000, and I do that because if you're over a power to mass ratio of 10, then your ship is faster than the max speed limit, and so you're not going to get an accurate reading of how fast you're actually traveling. And so yeah, I just place one engine. And you can do this with any boat you do. I'll show you how you can measure your speed in a moment. But let me get some low grade. What was my power to mass ratio? I forgot to check. Okay, so I'm at exactly 1,000, which is where I like to be. I like to test at 10 to 1. Yes, the mass and drag only gets affected by the foundations. It doesn't get affected by anything else above, and I will show that in a moment. Thank you for asking that question. I forgot to even talk about that. So yeah, if we look here, and I'm driving, I put the engine in the back. I should have put it at the front so I could steer better, but okay. So now that we're able to travel in a straight direction, this actually feels surprisingly slow. I wonder if they changed it. So you do client.print speed, and you hit this. Oh, okay, no, we're good. I'm going 11.88, and so that number doesn't mean anything to you, but I remember from doing this testing, that is the speed of baseline. So if you aren't experiencing any drag, that is how fast you should be going. I don't feel like driving that all the way back over, so I'm just going to put another boat down. Okay. So let's build the same boat with a triangle, and so I'm gonna make sure it's even. No, I don't want that. I'm gonna go there. Close, that. And then on the front, because we added the triangle, I'm going to do something that's only 50 mass so that these combine for 1,000, and we're basically the same thing. It's not perfect, but we're close. And I'm going to be smart and just put the engine up front so that it's easier to drive. Okay, so now if I come back in here, wait for the boat to get up to speed. We've got our triangle. And we're basically the exact same. Yeah, we're the exact same. The one thing you do need to account for in this testing, if you're being really rigorous, is the direction of the waves will affect you. And so, if you're too close to shore, there is a parameter in the Rust code where you go slower. That's within the first 50 meters of shore. So if you're really close to shore, you will just go slower. There's an extra factor. Assuming you're not next to the shore, you come out here. I think there are slight differences in the direction you're facing, like south versus north versus east versus west. It's not big, but it's a little bit. And so if you're trying to be really rigorous with your testing, just go in the same direction. And now, I would like to show that, I'm going to back up so I can edit my boat. I'm going to show that building wider up top does not slow you down at all. And so, we're this wide up here. I could even I'll do something that looks ridiculous and would catch a whole ton of wind if wind mattered. Okay. So this is what we're going for, and we're going the wrong way. Let's go forwards this time. Okay, now we're going forwards. We've got one engine, 1,000 mass, same setup, power to ratio 10 to 1. And we're the exact same. We're right around that 11.88. The waves going up and down is what's changing the instantaneous velocity. Oops. Something neat about how the Rust devs programmed the boats is if you are in close proximity to the boats, you're actually merged entity. Because right now, I'm no-clipped. And yet I'm still moving with the boat, even though I'm not actually attached to anything. They did this because they were able to get some frame rate improvements, or server-wide. It helped with lag, since with the waves, the physics engine was rendering both the boat and how the boat was interacting with the player to push them. But by merging the two meshes into one, they were able to just calculate the physics once based on the waves, rather than calculating it twice. And so, if you're just tuning in, what we just looked at is how you can have a boat with extra width up top, and it doesn't affect the speed at all. Right before this, we looked at boats where... I can't do it right here. But we looked at a boat where it was just plain. It was right on this 2x1 with a flat front, and it went the same speed as a boat with a triangle on front. And then we also looked at how making it wide up top doesn't affect anything. The reason that's cool is because you can keep your boat moving very, very quickly by using this. And so a boat footprint that I'm testing out right now is just this plain 2x1. I slapped down some windows for the driver. Something really cool you can do with boats that Silver Spooks showed me is if you put this square roof first and then you build these, you can put a square over a triangle. And so I think that's really cool. I bet this could be done with a 1x1. You can break that. Okay, so I've got a 1x1. Oh, I have to be very careful right here. So I want to go with that. No. I want to go this, and then I go square, then I'm going windows, demolish that. Okay. And so you could make a 3x3 boat that has the effective drag of a 2x1 or a 1x1. And so this is a really silly looking boat. But you could theoretically put triple cannons up front and drive around like a speedboat. I bet you could get 10 sails on this. I'm gonna check this really quick because I'm interested in seeing if that would work. Oh, we can definitely fit 10 on here. Always build your sails from back to front, because that way you can see them go orange. If you go the other direction, you don't get to see that indicator. Now I just need 2 more sails. I can put them right there and right there. And then, yeah, I can triple cannon. So a cool thing you can do with cannons and doors, if you haven't seen this already, I feel like this has been talked about a lot since the first couple weeks of the ocean wipe. But if I go with a door, I like to go with one I can see out of. You can just place them right through the cannon. I feel like that's a little silly. I feel like you shouldn't be able to do that, but it lets us do some really cool things. I guess the one thing I can't do with this design is access. If I break this, okay, everything breaks. So maybe this design doesn't work. But yeah, okay, so that design is a flop, but yeah. So what I really want to do, I was chatting with some of the guys I play wipes with, Burvden Lamau. He, if you're familiar. Oh, I guess he's Burvden FPS now. We were talking about how we want to make a couple of fast ships and drive these ships and like surround somebody and come from different angles and each have our own ship so that if one of them gets sunk, we have others to fall back on, and then we can like surround bigger ships and fight them from multiple angles. But yeah, let's see. I talked about the drag a little bit. So supposedly something that they did, because they updated the drag a little bit, but what I think they were updating the drag to handle was boats where people were doing things like this, and the steering wheel was facing this direction. They were trying to improve how they were calculating this shape, because it's almost like it's catching all of this water as opposed to it just pushing off to the sides. Because let's see if I can pull up the MS Paint again. I'll clear this. Flashbang. I'll go back to my gray. Okay, let's say your boat is just a 2x1, right? Just a 2x1. Without getting into any sort of like fancy simulation or math or checking anything, intuitively, if this boat is driving through the water is going to hit it and kind of bounce off and go to the sides, right? And so the drag your ship is needs to calculate, or like the amount of drag that your ship is calculating is the amount of drag that your ship is going to face driving through the water or cutting through the water is just from this front end, and the water will just get pushed off to the side, right? But if you have a ship where you've got this kind of like weird catcher. People have been doing this so they can grab other people's boats, like ram them, and then they can't get away because they'll close a small ramp behind them, and then they trap the boat. And so people have been doing things like this, and as far as I can tell, the devs wanted this boat to get penalized more speed-wise. They wanted you to have a nice aerodynamic shape. So that people aren't just building rafts. But, yeah. people have been using this shape, and it will basically fill with water, and then you have to just carry all of this water with you as you're driving because it can't get out. You're just pushing it. And so this right here will push water off and around, so that's fine. But then this will just accumulate all the water. And I wonder if that's slower than just having a flat, and I want to look at that right now. And so let's see. Oops. Let's see. Oh, cool. This is exactly 1,000 mass, so that will make testing easy. I'm just going to put my steering wheel and my one engine. Grab my low grade. I'm going to turn so I don't run into anything. And you can already see that we are considerably slower than we were with the 2x1 shape. And this is the exact same power to mass ratio, so we should be able to go to the same speed, but we are not. Yeah, and so if you look, we are going 8.6, which is considerably slower than the 2x1 shape with the exact same power to mass ratio. And so we're going 8.6. Well, now I want to test if this is worse than if I am catching the water. That's something I'm really curious to see if they calculate it all. So let's see, we're at 600, so I need to add 400. So I'm just going to add that. I tried to make it as symmetrical as possible so that my center of mass is still calculated to the center of the ship. I'll go steering wheel right there, and I'll try to get this behind me like that so that it's as centered as I can get it. Oh, that's terrible. Hey, I'll just put it straight forwards like that. Okay, so we were 8.6, and let us see if we still go 8.6. Oh, wow. Okay, now that is really interesting. This is faster. That is weird. That goes completely against what I would have expected intuitively. Wow. I wonder how they're calculating that. Because the case... So coming back... Oh man, did I never go back to Rust? Oh no. I didn't switch my scene back to Rust. Oh, maybe you were able to see because it just shows my desktop. Okay, but looking at the paint, I hope that worked out. So I would have expected that you run into worse drag in this scenario than if your boat had its front like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just had my scene set to my desktop, so I guess it worked out. But so yeah, I would have expected this shape where the water hits and goes around like that to be better than the one where the water hits and needs to go like that. But it looks like the calculation they're running is not that complex, because this is actually faster, and not even a small amount. It was 10 meters a second versus 8.6. That's almost that's 14% or 15% difference, and so that's weird. I wonder if they're ever going to change that. So that's interesting. We learned something new. But yeah, the other thing is, this is something I've been wondering if it affects how boats drive or not. If you really, really load up one side. Yeah, I think I think you're right, Wipe Dessert. It's probably just a calculation based on the angle of the foundation against the heading of like where it's going. So whatever the angle is, if I come back to paint, I don't want that color. If we come here, if you have like this triangle, they're probably just calculating like this angle right here, and then doing it based off of the number of blocks. A footprint that a lot of people have been trying, or some people have been trying to get work, is an egg. Or, I call this the Thrifty Scott footprint. I don't know if anyone remembers Evil Worst, but he made a base on this footprint. Sorry, it's getting dark. He made a base on this footprint. It was called the Thrifty Scott, and I loved it, and I tried making a bunch of bases off of it. And I haven't had one that works in modern Rust. They were like old, like 2020. But some people have been trying out this footprint, and as far as I can tell, this one performs not so well. Oh, try adding a triangle on the... Oh, that's a really good idea. Okay, so we have 3 like this. I can't remember how far. I think that's 1 too many. Yeah, that's 1 too many. I had it like this, and with this orientation, we were going around 10. Let's see how fast we go with this. And I'll put the steering wheel here. And now I'm gonna go 50. Okay, that, and now I need... Okay, I wanted to get to 1,000 mass. We're at 1,000 mass, so if it's based off of the angle of each footprint, if it's based off of the angle of each foundation calculated on its own, this will be faster. And if it's based on the total profile of the ship, I think this would be slower. I think it's the first, but that's my guess. And we are faster. So, I can tell almost definitively. I don't have, like, pure proof, but this is as good proof as I need to make this claim, I think, that they're calculating individually based off of each thing that is getting that animation. So, like, if you look here, see how each, if you look, there's like this spray animation on everything that's on the leading edge. I think if you see that spray, the Rust engine calculates the angle of that foundation compared to the heading or the direction you're going in. And so when you have all triangles on the front like this in a sawtooth, or I guess this is a W, if you've got like a W, yeah, you can build a brick, but as long as you make a pointy hat, it should be good. That makes me wonder. How would... So, I won't bother... I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it properly. I'll do this properly. If you make a ridiculous ship, like the 5x1, or 5x2, so I can get to that nice 10-to-1 power to mass, this is going to go very, very slow. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, we're going 7.3. We are going so slow. So slow. But if let me just move this back and swap these all to pointy, as Wipe to Zerg so elegantly said. We've now got pointy, and I just need to add some mass in. Okay, so we've got the same power to mass here. Oops, I do not want to. Yeah, we are faster. Oh, I think we're getting too close to shore. Ah, crap. Oh, that's weird. I can't access my steering wheel. That's fine. But, yeah, I think we got too close to shore, but we were faster for a little bit. Just reading chat. Yeah, so it seems like no matter what shape you have, you'll just have to look at these first two printouts because these I was too close to shore. But just adding triangles to the footprint made it faster, even when it was jagged. In my testing, where I did like systematic testing through all of the like normal footprints, so anything rectangular in like aspect ratio, and then with a single hat for the triangle. I didn't bother with like multiple hats of triangle. In that testing, if you had a 5x1, your best bet was to just fully load this in with triangles. Not your best bet from a mass ratio, but from a drag ratio. And something I actually want to test is if you have a moon pool, does it double calculate your drag? Because that's something I'm interested in. So we're at 1750 mass. I'm going to get us up to 2000 so that I have a nice easy number to work with. Okay, and then I'm going to put the steering wheel. And then I'm going to go with 2 engines so that we're still at that 10-to-1, because otherwise we are really, really slow. So if we've got a fully pointy front to our ship, we are traveling all the way back up at 10, which is decent. If you remember, at a 10-to-1 power to mass ratio with a 2x1 footprint, regardless of the pointy tip or not, so even if you were flat, we were traveling at around 11.88 at the 10-to-1 power to mass ratio. And here, at the 10-to-1 power to mass ratio, we're going about 10, so a little bit slower. What I want to look at is if I have the exact same power to mass ratio. I have to back up a little bit. I hear something loud going on the server. I wonder if it's heli? I have no idea. Because I should be the only one on this server, so... I don't think triangles on the back do anything, but I will test that. I don't think so, but I will test to make certain. But let's see, if I just take out this middle and create a moon pool, because I know some people have been testing that. Let's just take it all out. Let's see, I've got 1550. I need to get up to 1600. And now I need 4. Okay, so this ship has the exact same power to mass ratio, and the only difference is now we have a moon pool. And so, put that right there. It looks like we are going the same speed as when we didn't have a moon pool. So it looks like the moon pool does not affect how the drag works. And so, even though these are technically leading, I wonder if the animation reflects that. Okay, so that's interesting. You do get that leading front animation, but it's not calculating that in the drag. Interesting. Am I in range? No, I'm far outside of range. Okay, I guess the last thing I really want to show is if triangles in the back, kind of like how you would maybe expect a ship to look like in real life, where you've got... I'll do it with a 2x2 because the effects are stronger here. Where you've got something like this, versus if you take these off and you've got a flat back. And so if I go with this, I've got 800 mass. And so I'm just going to go with that. Boom, boom. Steering wheel right in the center. And engine. I'm going to toss some of these boat building stations because I just have so many of them. It's not littering if it's rust. Alright, we're at the 10-to-1 power to mass ratio. I'm going to crash. No. Okay. If you crash into those ice things, your boat will often get stuck and there is no way to get you out. So you really don't want to crash like that if you can avoid it. Okay, so we're driving straight. Yeah, and this actually travels at the full possible speed. It's the same as a 1x1. So you can go too wide like this, and it is just as fast as if you stick with a 1x1 or 2x1. And that is with these triangles. And so now, if we're at 1,000 mass, if I remove these triangles, and I guess I'll add these, the 4 triangles are 200 mass, and this is 200, so that should be about the same. In theory, we should be the same speed. And it looks like we are the same speed. And so, as far as I can tell, you don't need to worry about adding triangles at the back as long as the profile of your ship goes in. If the profile of your ship starts to kick out, like, if it starts to kick out, let's see if I can do it here. I've seen some people do this type of thing with their ship. Don't do that because then it, like, this adds drag, and so you're just better off going with something like that. Like, this is objectively faster than adding those 2 triangles at the side, and it costs the exact same, so. yeah, if you're gonna go with an option, go with that. And so yeah, is there anything else that I'm missing testing wise? Because I just kind of wanted to go through the testing process so that people can see kind of how you would go about testing if you wanted to run your own testing on boats, and so that people could, kind of see the process live. And then we could look at some of the questions that I may have decided not to pursue in like more rigorous testing that would go on YouTube. Because if there are no more questions, that is where I will wrap this episode up. I am going to continue the stream for a little bit, and I'm going to try and work out a fast 1x1 design. And I've got a really cool ship that I'm preparing a build video on for a couple of weeks, but I don't want to show that off on the second channel before the main channel gets the upload. So only for the Twitch viewers for now. So motivation to join the stream. And so somebody was actually talking about how, let me go to a spot that I can, supposedly you can put the cannon into a locker, and that prevents you from getting hit. So if you put the cannon... No, it looks like the locker blocks it. Maybe they were like... I have no idea. Yeah, that's the issue I run into. Like, even if I'm using the door trick, the MP5 burst is faster than the fuse of the cannon. And so that's why I want to transition to using Tesla coils as my main kill thing, and then just drive up and like C4 the boat. As far as I can tell, there is no way to protect yourself from the MP5. The best I've got is this door, like I showed here, and then the other trick that you have to use is you need heavy plate, because if you go heavy plate, you'll survive. Because when you're shooting the cannon, down here, I mean, it's like, only your head is really visible here. I don't have a way, actually, debug.debug. Damn it. So say you're trying to shoot me. You're some MP5 guy. Really only my head is showing? So heavy pot will do most of it, especially if you're, shooting from about here, only the head is showing. Especially, you also want to lift the cannon up. Let's see. So while you're shooting in between shots, just crank the cannon up like that. And if you don't have this door protecting you, like no door, while you're reloading, if you just crank it up, that'll block your face. Does a rug work? Let me angle this cannon down. I don't know if you can place the rug. Oh. Oh, okay. I don't know if that makes it impossible to... Okay, so if you're a good shot, I think you can make this work. You have very limited vision. But I think it would be hard to hit you. I might actually add this into the VOD. Wipe to Zurich said, told you I'm a genius wasting my life playing Rust. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna include this because I forgot to talk about cannons completely. I'll cut out the little bit about the boat because I don't think the boat is ready to show off VOD wise yet. What am I doing? Oh, sorry, I just completely spaced. I am coming here, and I'm going debug mode so that I can see what this looks like. And it looks like you cannot see the player at all. That is sweet. I mean, if you're coming from an angle, you could get the head. But presumably, if I'm over here, the cannon is also going to be facing towards me and blocking the headshot, so... Yeah. So, it looks like a combo of heavy pot. You can put the rug over the door like that to get that angle a little bit tighter. Can you shoot through the rug? Okay, so it does hit the rug and stop. I don't know how weak... Okay, the rug doesn't take a lot of shots. And so, I don't know how well that'll work. I can't do a wooden sign, can I? I feel like a wooden sign would be overpowered. Yeah, it looks like you can't deploy these at all. I think this is intentional so that you can't block the angle at all. And so I think it's just heavy pot. I think you just have to go with heavy pot, and that's that. I guess the one other thing I really wanted to test, because if this works, I think it is slightly broken. Okay, so I go there. I'm just gonna get a battery. I always like to get a switch with these so I can turn them on and off. And electrical tool. Okay, so what am I doing? I am curious to see if the Tesla coil will hurt a player that is inside of their ship. As in, does the ship's walls protect you from the Tesla coil? And so if I build just like a completely closed-in box, no openings at all. Okay, and then I'm just gonna drive this boat over there. And I'm gonna see if I can hurt myself through the walls. World's best backwards driver. Okay, let's see if I can get the angle a little bit better. Oop, damn it. Maybe I'm not the world's best backwards driver. Did I completely miss? I think I completely missed it. Am I just driving circles around it? Okay, okay, okay. Alright, that was unsuccessful. So I'm gonna drive this one over a little bit. I feel like there's definitely a better way to do this. Oh, you know what it would be? Just turning this around. So that I can actually drive facing the right direction. That would make too much sense. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this Tesla coil on and jump in there and see if it does damage. Okay, so it looks like the walls do protect against the Tesla coil, but it would hit me if I'm up here. Now I wonder, can you put a Tesla coil? Let's see, I've got the small ramp. I definitely don't think you can do this, but if you can, it would be insane. Oh, try pushing it? Oh, that's a good point. I'll try that first. Oh, damn it. This is the problem with your engine behind you like this. It's really hard to drive. I get the angle right first and then push. I'm just gonna move the engine up to the front. It's so hard to drive with the engines at the back. Oh, the catcher idea is a really good idea. I'll do that next. Oh my god. I'm gonna do that right now because I can't aim this thing. I mean, that is something to keep in mind, is that depending on the shape of your ship, it can be hard to actually ram somebody. Especially with a really narrow boat. I'm going to get into the range where I can edit, and then I'll put a Tesla coil. What do you mean I can't do it? Okay. Okay, and so I'm going to go, I don't know which Tesla coil is going to go through, but I'm just going to kind of put 3 and wire these up. You wouldn't want to do 3 on the same battery like this because it won't do as much damage as far as I can tell with how they work. But I don't want to have to wire up multiple switches, and so I'm just going to do all 3 from the same battery. I thought they had a pass-through. I guess they don't have a pass-through. I don't know why I thought they had a pass-through, so I guess I am going to just wire 3 up. I apologize to people who like neat electronics. You are not getting that out of me right now because I'm trying to keep the stream moving. And this is going here. Okay, so I've got these 3. I'm going to ram that ship and try and shove the Tesla coils through. And we will see what happens from there. Oh, you have to be kidding me. I'm gonna catch the wrong boat. Wow. Okay. Okay, we caught one. Alright, now I'm gonna... I guess make sure you have the windows. And I'm not taking any damage from these. That is awesome. That is so awesome right there. It will do damage to you if you're not careful with how you set up your Tesla coils, so make sure you have windows. Yeah, so it looks like you can protect yourself from Tesla coils just by completely enclosing yourself. But I think Tesla coil might be a really useful way to keep your ship deck clear, because that's an issue people run into, is like people getting on your ship and camping your sails. So I think you can put one of these Tesla coils on top of your ship, and if anyone ever gets on top, you just pull the lever or have it set up to like a heartbeat sensor. That would be really cool. So I think that is where I'm actually going to wrap up today. And so thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Come check us next time, and oh yeah, leave the door open. Come check the stream out next time. I will be streaming this Thursday, and then I'll also be streaming on Saturday, and so you can come catch us there, or every single Tuesday we'll be streaming. So until next time.